Alright, so today we're working on this engine bay. The idea is to get this whole thing sprayed in that color. And so I was spray testing a panel the other day, and I had some paint left over and I sprayed some over there, and looks good. All this primer's been sanded, and there's spots where I need to put a little bit of sealer or like this. That way we don't have any exposed metals. And so we're gonna get this whole thing prepped. I only want to spray up to here. I don't want to spray this side because this side's all underneath here is gonna get bed lined. That way I'm not gonna run wheel guard, whatever, fender, plastic stuff, because I have aftermarket fenders, and they didn't really come with it, so I'm not really planning on running it, but I will see in the future. But for now, I just want this to be bed lined. That way I don't have gold showing through the wheels, whatnot. But all of this is pretty much ready to be sprayed. I'm gonna tape off stuff I need to tape off, like these big holes. I took the brake booster off, and then where the seals were, and get this thing sprayed. And then I also got this front piece to spray. So I'm gonna get it all taped off and start spraying it. Alright, so for the sealer I'm going to use this shop line. It's epoxy primer. Got it all mixed up. And so gotta give it 15 minutes for it to fully, whatever it does. And then I got this paint right here. And then also got this paint right here. So this is the paint I bought. It's Lemco. I didn't want to spend too much money on paint. I usually paint with Diamond paint, but on this engine bay I just went with Lemco. It's not my favorite, but it does its work and its job. And for it to be out in for the engine bay, it's not bad paint. So basically I picked up this paint and I didn't really like the way it turned out. They mixed it wrong, and I brought them one code, and the code they mixed it wasn't quite the one that I had mixed before. So, which is not a big deal. I found some yellow paint and I dumped a bunch of this into the yellow paint and mixed it up, and I got kind of to where I want it. So this is what this paint looks like, and then this color is a little more orangey, weird, good looking color. So my plan is basically this will not be enough to spray the whole bay. I'm gonna start with this for my first coats. First I'm gonna go with the sealer, then spray this to cover the sealer to make sure it gets covered, and then this is going to be my top coats. So once it's all done, I should have this color. And don't mind my mess. It's almost 12 o'clock at night, so a lot of this work I do after hours. It's not the build that I'm like, oh, I have a lot of time for. So I've been working on this all day, and I will continue working on it, but I want to get this engine bay sprayed because it takes time and I can do two things at once. So yeah, the idea is just to spray it. I taped off where I needed to tape off. Everything else I don't really care. The tunnel is getting bed lined, and yeah, pretty much it. So waiting for the sealer to cure or whatever, 15 minutes. And for the gun, I will be spraying with a Sada Jet 1500B HVLP. Haven't sprayed anything with this, so with engine bays it's pretty tricky trying to get into all the corners, and this is like more of a smaller gun, and I'm gonna test it out. I usually spray with Sada or Jet 5000s, but this one's a 1500, so I'm gonna test it out and see how it handles small paint jobs. Yeah, so sealer is almost done cooking, and I'm gonna load it up and give it a few coats. That way we get a proper coverage, and then get all this stuff mixed up. This paint gets mixed 2 to 1, so it's a little different than other paints I use. They're 1 to 1. But let me know what you guys think about this color or this color. I mean, by the time you watch the video it's gonna be too late, but I still like this one more. So I'm gonna load the gun up and start spraying. Alright, so the sealer has dried. Now I got my base coat ready, so I'm gonna spray the whole thing in base coat. Alright, so I got my first coat. More like 2 coats, did 2 rounds, but got most of it covered, all the sealer and everything. So I'm gonna let this flash and then keep going. Alright, so I put whatever paint I had of that color on, and that's what it looks like. And I got a gun ready for the final paint, so I spray a little bit on this side. As you can see, it's a little bit lighter than this side, but it's better. This one's gonna look very dark once you clear it. This one's gonna be really lighter compared to that one, and so gotta finish spraying this whole thing. I'm gonna give 2 coats and I think it should be good. Alright, so the engine bay is all sprayed, the base coat flashed. Now it's time to spray the clear coats. Clear coat is a fun thing to spray, especially in the engine bay, because you got so many angles, and we're gonna try to have 0 runs, because that's the worst you can do when you're doing engine bays. So I already got a gun mixed up, and we're gonna do 2 coats and call it good. Alright guys, check it out. This thing is done. Sprayed my last coat of clear. It's shiny. Definitely not too bad for a quick paint job. My main priority was to spray it so it looks good, so it doesn't look like it used to look like. So far it looks really good. I don't see any runs. Alright guys, that is it for this episode. I'm gonna let this cure and then come back the next day or whenever I have time, and bed line underneath the wheels where the wheel goes. All the stuff right here. Bed line this. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time.